So how did you do college? If you were never alone.
Originally, the plan was when I went to Arizona. The plan was always my mom was gonna rent an apartment in Tucson, Arizona. So she was always around, and then the college had accessible dorms. Like I was gonna get my own dorm room with my own bathroom in the dorm. Um, that wasn't the issue. The issue was trying to find 24/7 care. Like that's just impossible to find. Like I'm picky. Like I'll admit, I want someone that's like a bit of a contemporary that's gonna fit in with like a college life and scene. But even then, like combining nurses and home health aides and PCAs, like I just couldn't get the coverage. So I ended up not being able to live in the dorm, and I ended up living with my mom in the apartment she was renting, and then I had like 2 or 3 nurses that would be with me during the day, and my mom would drop us off on campus, and they would help me go to class. Obviously, like they were not wearing scrubs, like no one knew they were nurses. They just thought they were like aides or assistants or whatever. And most of them just graduated from the nursing program at Arizona, so like they were very familiar with the campus, and they were young, so
Yeah.
it was fun.
I guess just to provide you some background about, we went to the University of Illinois. We lived in a dorm that had something called a floater, so like a 24-hour, like just backup person that was there.
Yeah, I've heard
And
of
then
that.
we'd have caregivers come in throughout the day. They're all like in this dorm where we had that. Like, if we didn't have that level of care, we would not have been able to.
Like, we all got varying levels of hours given to us, like, through the university. But, like, so we could hire people, like, the way they set it up, like, they don't encourage, like, you get 5 hours a day to, like, allot how you want. So it's not like one long shift, like 5, 6 hours in a row. So, like, we'd say have someone come in the morning, and then once you're up and done, they leave and say another person comes. So like help you get lunch or like shower or whatever. Like get to bed. Basically it was like we'd have one-on-one care specifically for doing stuff. Only a few hours a day. And the rest of the time like it was just the floater.
Yeah, like backup,
So then
backup staff.
how would you like get the classes and like get your stuff out like class?
They had something called educational assistant for those that needed
Oh,
someone to go with
they would
them.
take yeah, they would take notes for you and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
for a note, they would like the teacher, let's say the professor sends out an email saying like, would someone be willing to take notes for another
Right,
student
yeah.
in the class that
Yeah,
needs
we had that too.
help taking?
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
once you leave class,
Right.
like, who's helping you get to another building?
Well, this is so funny because, like, to the four of us, it's like, well, of course it was that. It was like that, but, like, we never actually had someone, like, be asking about it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, we had like a bus system, like bus.
they had their own buses, where, like, they would only go on a fixed route that the wheelchair using students could use. So,
I mean, at Arizona, we had, like, they had a chart service, so they were almost like golf charts they were like
Oh.
extended golf charts that had ramps on them. So, like, it was almost like you took 2 of them, put them together. Like, almost like a stretch limousine. Not that big, but for a golf cart. And you would just ride up on that, and you'd sit kind of sideways. It was actually kind of terrifying because my feet stuck out the side of the cart, and I can like lower my feet rest on my power chair a little bit, but like my toes would stick out, and the drivers would drive like maniacs. And there was a part of campus where there was these poles that you had to drive through, and you were flying through them. And I tell you, I missed hitting my feet by less than half an inch.
That's my least favorite thing, getting hit on the toes with something. Like, in the
Dude,
shower,
I
the bottle
definitely would
falls.
have broken my foot because he was
Yeah.
blind.
Bottle in the shower like falls, my heart stops for a second.
Yeah, right.
No, but that was like our transportation. But like either way, it's still if that was like I had to get from one side of the campus to the other, and it's Arizona and there's like 100 degrees outside, then like yeah, I would use that, or I would just walk with my nurse to wherever my next class was. But like even during the day, I still needed like medical stuff done. I still like to give me nebulizer treatment and like give me sips of water and like help me in the bathroom. So I always kind of needed a nurse with me, you know.
For our audience, like, can you describe the difference between a caregiver and a nurse?
Or if they're the same. I mean, it
Like, what the
There's some
difference?
contextual differences. Like some people might just call a PA nurse.
Yeah, it's
Just
true.
that depends on yeah.
Also, one doesn't necessarily have to have medical training.
Yeah, like a PCA, like a personal care assistant or a home health aide doesn't have any medical training.
Okay.
So, like, they can't technically administer medication. Like, you can direct them and say, "Hey, I need this. Can you go and
Gotcha.
get it? Can you go and get it for me?" But like, technically, they can't like give it to you.
Just wanted the audience to like understand.
yeah, very slim distinction, but
And I think you were talking about earlier, you were particular and like the nurse, like correct me if I'm wrong, being like close to your age and stuff. We kind of at school we're kind of spoiled in that way. Our caregivers were our age, like they're college students also.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have someone close to your age that you can, I don't know, just be easier to connect to.
But it does make a big difference.
No,
Yeah.
I've always been like that. Even like before I went to college, I always wanted nurses that were on the younger side.
yeah, you did. No, I'm just kidding.
Again, no
I
difference.
always wanted the hot nurse from the cover of the album. Yeah, I mean, I let down in the sense that the nurses I had at Arizona, like, just graduated from the nursing program there, so they were young. And then the other ones I had maybe didn't just graduate, but they looked young. Like my favorite nurse I had was this guy. He was maybe in his late 30s. He looked like he was maybe like in his late 20s, but he was from Tucson, Arizona. He was on campus all the time for football and basketball and things. So like he knew the area, so he was fun also to hang out with. But yeah, it's better to have like a contemporary.
Because they're doing stuff for you that's normally like can be uncomfortable. So like if you have that connection, it makes it less awkward for sure. I agree with you there.
Yeah, and they just fit in. Like if I were to roll up to class with like no offense, but someone in like their 70s or 60s or even in their 50s, like you kind of stick out, you know.
Like other students may not interact with you then.
Even if my mom, like let's say there was things I had to do in the evening for like study sessions or projects, and like I didn't have a nurse or whatever, and my mom would come, like there was a long time where people didn't even know she was my mom because she just acts fun and like not like a mom when she's around my friends. So
That sounds cool. Wonder what that's like.
Well, if you guys,
Sometimes.
aside from the age thing, you know what my dad is like. Do we act like a normal father?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he acts like our age.
Yeah, age is just a number. I mean, it's like it's a maturity issue too. I mean, there are
Yeah.
definitely drawbacks to having PAs our own age too.
Right.
Sometimes, in terms of maturity. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few I've had a few nurses that were super young, and that's what I wanted. But then once you start to get to know them and they take care of you, yeah, there's a maturity and like just reliability. Like they're not reliable.
Yeah, you gotta definitely maintain a boundary there.
But I do have kind of a funny story. So the one guy nurse I had at Arizona was this huge dude, and there was a single bathroom in the library that I used to use like in between classes because it was kind of like just a general area for me to be, and I don't know why, but the lock on the bathroom was broken. So, but no one ever used that bathroom because it was kind of like in the basement. So we're in there, and I'm tipped back in my chair, like in the middle of the bathroom, and my nurse is helping me with the urinal, and some dude busts open the door, and just sees us just chilling there in the middle, and he just stops and stares at us, and we're like, and he just kind of like slowly backs away and shuts the door. But yeah, there's
Just
been
quick,
no.
put my dick away.
No,
Quick!
no, that's
Quick!
Do you guys remember, like, you know, I remember I went to the bathroom once, and one of my friends was helping me use the urinal, you know? Stalls were full, so I was outside the stalls, and I was just like, I can't wait anymore. So, like, my friend's helping me, and this guy comes up to talk to my friend. My friend's a really nice guy. He just talked to him because he was like, this guy's drunk, I'll be nice to him. And so he shakes his hand, and while I'm, like, peeing, this guy shakes my hand.
That's a new
While
one.
he shakes his hand.
yeah,
And I was just like,
that's
wow.
Yeah.
Drunk people.
There was another time where someone was kind enough to knock on the door before they opened it, and my nurse yells, "We're in here!" And I'm like, "You had to say it like that." And then a few minutes later, there's people outside. It's just me and another dude walking out of a single bathroom, and everyone's just staring at us like, what the hell?
So, I got a question for you. So, I assume majority of your nurses were female.
Yeah.
So, how did you handle the bathroom thing? Like, if there's only bathrooms like the men's and the women's.
I've always kind of lucked out where, like, I'm usually in an area where there's at least one, I guess, family bathroom or whatever. But there has been situations, like, even as a kid when I was with my parents, like, let's say my mom, like, she would just wait for, like, the women's restroom to empty out, and then we would sneak in to, like, the handicap stall when no one was in there, and then wait for everyone to leave and then sneak back out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, you know, with my nurses, yeah, we tried to do stuff like that. Like, if we were in an area where there wasn't a family bathroom, we would wait for another bathroom to empty out, and then be like, we would just find someone and be like, hey, can you stand in front of this door and, like, make sure no one comes in here?
Yeah, that's definitely... I, for one, personally, I never want to make one of my TAs go in the men's bathroom, you know? It's like, if it comes down to me or her, let me be the one that's uncomfortable, right? Like, I'll
But
go
have
in
you
the...
guys also found women's bathrooms are a lot nicer usually anyway?
Ugh.
Sometimes they're either a lot
Like,
nicer
they're a
or
lot cleaner.
they're either a lot nicer or a lot more disgusting than you would think.
I feel like they always smell like sunshine and rainbows. And the men's always just smell like shit.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't hesitate to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and we got more on the way. Until then, take care.